Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about all my makeup favorites that are on sale for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. I wasn't sure if I was going to film this video because I know this time of year it can be really overwhelming with everyone's recommendations and all these videos and all the sales and all the products you must have. Obviously, I wanted to talk about my favorite sales, but only sales where I would personally shop at. These are my absolute favorite products that I wanted to mention. So these are Holy Grail products that I am talking about because I don't want to just talk about any old sale. And again, please don't feel pressured to shop any of the sales. Obviously, these are only sales if you are planning to purchase these products, or maybe they've been on your wish list for a while, but I never want you to feel pressured by my videos. So please shop smartly. And let's just get started with the first sale that I wanted to talk about. So Victoria Beckham is offering 20% off her site currently. I don't know if the sale will be increased for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, but it is currently 20% off. And I wanted to go over some of my favorite products from her. So I really love the lid lusters. I think I have 3 shades, but honestly, my 2 favorite shades are the shade Chiffon, which is this gorgeous, just beautiful beige champagne. It's a really nice everyday color. My absolute favorite everyday shade is the shade Honey. So the lid luster is a very unique formula. It kind of reminds me of the Chantecaille Mermaid eye colors, except these definitely have more shimmer particles. Like there is more of an intermittent shimmer to them. So that is the shade Honey. It's just a really beautiful bronze shade. It's like the perfect combo of like a gold and a bronze. But like I stated, there are a little bit of intermittent shimmer particles to it. So this is the most comfortable. Like, I don't really prefer Pat McGrath or Natasha Denona eyeshadows. I just think they're a little bit too sparkly for me. This is as sparkly as I'll go, and these are what I like to call a sophisticated shimmer. They're a very mature shimmer. They're not going to look chunky. They're not going to look too much. They're not going to look out of place. They're kind of any occasion appropriate. They're really beautiful and still very sophisticated on the eye. They're very elegant shimmers versus it being like a chunky shimmer. So I really recommend that product. One of my Holy Grail products from Victoria Beckham, though, is this eyewear in the shade Trench. This is all I'm wearing on my eyes today, and I really love this because this is just a beautiful beige color. So it's a very nice neutral brown. I don't think it leans too warm or too cool tone. It's like the perfect neutral, and it's about 2 shades deeper than my skin tone. So I really like it just to use on my eyes. I'll just use it all over the eye, blend it out. I'll apply it to the lower lash line, blend it out, and I get a super natural eye look, but it looks like I've done a little something more than just applying mascara to my eyes. It just kind of elevates my eyes ever so slightly, and I think it looks really nice on an everyday basis. This is just one of my favorite products of all time. I also do like the bronzer. I'm not even going to show you my bronzer because I actually need to pick up another one because mine has shattered into a million pieces. But the bronzer is nice, but something that I consider a Holy Grail product is the Satin Kajal liner in the shade Cinnamon. I absolutely adore the shade Cinnamon. It is the most perfect warm brown shade. So there's a swatch of Cinnamon there. Cinnamon is the most perfect warm brown with a little bit of a sheen to it. And it just looks so flattering on any eye color, especially because this warm brown leans just ever so slightly red. It's not so red that it will make your eyes look pink, but it is warm enough that it will make any eye color pop. So if you have blue eyes, it's going to make your blue eyes stand out. If you have green eyes, that red in it is going to make the green in your eyes stand out. And if you have brown eyes, the warmth in this pencil, again, will make the brown in your eyes stand out. So I just feel like it is going to work for absolutely every eye color. This formula is very creamy. It is a little bit harder to work with because it's so pigmented, but it's just a really beautiful long wearing eyeliner that I love. And my last favorite from Victoria Beckham is the Posh gloss in the shade Bikini. Of course, you don't have to buy the exact shades that I like, but I just like Bikini because it's the perfect neutral pink shade. I feel like if I were recommending this to my mom, I would probably recommend like a deeper pink shade. Okay, Fizz was the shade I was thinking about. I think if I was recommending one to my mom, it would be Fizz because it's just going to give you a bit more color, where this Bikini shade is a very milky nude, and I think it just suits my complexion a little bit better. I really like this gloss formula because it provides you enough hydration, but it never gives you that white ring of death, if you know what I'm talking about. It never fades away awkwardly. It just leaves your lips feeling nice and smooth, and it's a really pretty gloss formula. So those are all my Victoria Beckham favorites. So Clé De Peau is offering an up to 25% discount. So they're doing 15% off $175, 20% off $350, and 25% off $525. And I have so many Clé De Peau favorites, so I don't want to be here all day. I really like the Clé De Peau bronzer. The lippies from Clé De Peau are really nice. I don't even think I have them out here, but like the lipstick, I really love the shade Triumphant Tawny. The lip glosses from Clé De Peau are absolutely beautiful. The shade Charm is one of my favorite lip glosses of all time. It's just such a beautiful hydrating formula. I pulled out some of my complexion favorites. The Clé De Peau The Foundation. This is such an elegant, luxurious foundation. It's the most expensive foundation I own, but it is so beautiful on the skin. I can't get enough of just how lovely this is. This would be a perfect foundation to purchase this time of year because it is really hydrating. It feels almost like a tinted cream versus a foundation product. One of my favorite foundations of all time also is the Radiant Cushion Foundation Dewy. This is such a good all-purpose foundation. It is a multi-purpose foundation because this is going to be one of the most full coverage foundations I have. Even though it's not actually a full coverage. I say it's more of a medium coverage. I wear the shade 030 in most Clé De Peau foundations, except this one runs a little light, so I wear 040 in this one, but 030 in the rest of them. But I really like this one because, like I said, it's a medium coverage kind of right off the bat. And what I love about a medium coverage product is that it's really manipulative. You can really sheer it out and you can get a sheer coverage. You can maybe mix it in with a moisturizer. You can just sheer it out and use a tiny bit of product and just really thin it out on the skin so that you get that sheer to light coverage. Or you can build it up to that medium coverage and get a more covered look, which I like because I like when you can use a product in a variety of different ways. So this is just something, if you were planning to purchase one product, I would recommend this one. I also love the Radiant Cream Foundation. This is such a gorgeous foundation. This is something I like to use more for special occasions because it's similar to the Radiant Cushion Foundation in that it's more of that medium coverage, and it just makes your skin look special and creamy and elegant, and there's something really smoothing about this foundation as well. It's so beautiful. This would be a gorgeous foundation on mature skin because it does have a little bit of that hydration to it. But I think if you have oily skin, you could still use this as well. You might just want to use a mattifying primer, but this is such a great, sophisticated, elegant foundation that I would use a lot for special occasions. Some more Clé De Peau favorites are the Luminizing Face Enhancers. These are pure luxury. Like when you get this, I just feel special whenever I use this product because the packaging is so luxurious. It feels like the biggest honor that I get to use this makeup. Like it just feels so special. And I can't remember what this shade is because the shade isn't actually on the back. This is the shade number 202 Golden Galaxy. I went and checked because I had to know. But this is like a beautiful champagne gold shade. There is a glitter top coat over this, but once you get past the glitter top coat, it's just this elegant sheen. It's really sophisticated. Like it just gives you that beautiful wet shine. It is so, so lovely. Probably the most elegant highlighter I have in my collection. If you're looking for a straight up concealer that's great for the face, if you suffer from like discoloration or any acne or anything, the Clé De Peau The Concealer is the concealer that you want to use. It is absolutely beautiful on the face because it remains consistent throughout the whole day. It's not going to fade away. It's not going to turn a different color. It's not going to separate. This is going to wear all day long, which is perfect for the face. I actually have 2 of them. That's how much I love it. One of my favorite products of all time is the Clé De Peau Refining Pressed Powder. I don't even know where I put my powder. There it is. I love the Clé De Peau Refining Pressed Powder. It does only come in one shade, but they reformulated this. They had a previous version and they reformulated it, and the reformulation is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm so happy that the reformulation is as beautiful as the previous version. I love this because it doesn't add any coverage or any color. It just simply blurs any imperfections, any pores on your skin. It makes your skin look like an Instagram filter. Truly, this filters your skin and perfects your skin in such a beautiful way. I love this product. I also really love their eyeshadow quads. My favorite one is the Beach Pebbles. I also pulled out another one, but I don't know where that went. But I also really like the shade Coral Reef. That one has more pinky tones. I know it's called Coral Reef, but I would say it leans more pink, and it gives you more of those rosy tones. I also have this shade Ocean Sunrise, and the number, I think it's the number 1 as well, which is a really beautiful, like neutral leaning cool tone palette. Any palette that speaks to you is definitely something I highly recommend. It's a really lovely formula. It's a typical powder formula in 3 of the shades where they just apply like a powder formula. They wear like a powder formula, but they actually are like a next generation eyeshadow palette. So they're really special. They are even better than typical eyeshadows. The way they smooth onto your skin and your eyes, I swear they make you look younger. I know that sounds dramatic, but it is dramatic. Like, this is just an elevated eyeshadow palette, and it's just better than anything you've ever tried. I almost guarantee it. It is so buttery, so smooth, so velvety. If you're a beginner, you will love this. My mom has mature skin. She's 65. These are her favorite eyeshadows. She owns 3 palettes. She owns the Beach Pebbles. She also owns Sand Dune, which is actually palette number 1, and that's the one I own as well. Sand Dune is really beautiful. And then she also owns the Ocean Sunrise, which is number 4. Truly the best palettes on the market. I feel like they are so beautiful. Yes, they're expensive, but they are so worth it in my opinion because I just can't get enough. If you're in Canada, I love the solo shadows. These are the single shadows. I have the Champagne shade, and this is just such a good one. I use it all the time, but I feel bad talking about it because it's not available in the US. And another product I absolutely love are their blush duos, and I thought they were discontinuing these or reformulating them, but they're still on the site. This is the shade 105, and I highly, highly recommend it. This is really similar to the Valentino blush formula where it's like a powder to cream. These melt on contact with your cheeks. They do not look powdery on the skin at all. They just blend right in and they melt on contact. So after about 10 minutes after you've had them on your complexion, they just melt in and you can't detect any sort of powder. They're just they really infuse with the skin, which I really appreciate in a powder formula because, like I said, I don't want a powder formula that's going to look powdery on my cheeks, and these never do. I also really like the bronzer from Clé De Peau. It's a duo, but I think the other products I mentioned are like my holy grail products, and they are products that I would recommend to everyone. They're so beautiful. Chantecaille is also doing their 25% off sale. I'm going to leave my link down below and some of my favorite recommendations, but I already just did a full video on the Chantecaille sale, so I don't want to really repeat myself, but there are some products that I'm just going to quickly recommend, like the Just Skin Tinted Moisturizer, the Future Skin Gel Foundation. Like, you have to try the complexion products. They're so, so good. The Chantecaille Sheer Glow Bronze Face Tint, the Sheer Glow Rose Face Tint, and one last product that I feel like I just have to mention is the Perfect Blur Finishing Powder. These are true holy grail products. And then I also love the Mermaid eye colors, the luminescent eye shades from Chantecaille. Those are some of my favorite holy grails as well. Again, I'll leave my recommendations. I'll leave the link for the Chantecaille sale, and then I'll put my recommendations, and then I'll link to my Chantecaille video I did, but I didn't want to blab on about Chantecaille because I literally just did that video. And the next sale I want to talk about is Surratt, because Surratt is offering 30% off, and I never see anyone talk about Surratt. And Surratt is one of the best beauty brands. They are so underrated. They are just such high quality products, and you will love them if you try them out, I promise you. Some of my favorite products from Surratt are the Surratt Dewdrop Foundation. I wear the shade number 8 in this foundation, and it is truly beautiful on the skin because this is a light coverage foundation. I'd say it's buildable to like a highlight coverage. It's not quite medium coverage, but you can build it up a little bit. It's a really great everyday foundation. And what I love the most about this is that it gives you that blurring effect that I love without giving you a lot of coverage. Because like I said, this is a light coverage product, but how it blurs the skin is so interesting because you're not blurring by adding more pigment to the product. You're blurring by the way it refracts light off your face. It is just a really interesting product, and I love that blurring capability because it gives you that soft focus, creamy skin look without it being high coverage. So you can still see your skin texture through this. This really enhances your skin and your complexion. Surratt really does a great job of that, and I just feel like no one talks about this, and it's so, so good. I love this on an everyday basis. Like I said, it's great for special occasions as well because you can actually see your skin through it. So I love when I'm in like one-on-one with someone, like if you're talking close to someone, this is a product I love to use because again, it just looks like skin. So I like to say this about my complexion products. I prefer when people compliment my skin versus complimenting my makeup. And when I wear this foundation, people compliment my skin. Another product that I absolutely love is the Dewdrop Concealer. This is my holy grail concealer. This is my absolute favorite concealer of all time. I do wear the shade 4 in this. I have the shade 5, but shade 5 is like my perfect, it like matches my skin. So I feel like it's just a little bit too deep for under my eyes. So honestly, mixing shade 4 and 5 is my perfect match. But I love this, and this is a little deceiving of a name because it's a little bit different than the Dewdrop Foundation, where the Dewdrop Foundation refracts the light and is a bit more dewy. This is a straight up natural finish. There is no dewiness to this, but I love it under the eyes because it has enough creaminess to it where it adds enough hydration and it's not going to settle on my under eye region, but it also sets down. It doesn't require powder. And because it is a bit of a thicker concealer texture, like it's not super thin, I feel like it does a great job of smoothing out any lines under there. I feel like that's what sometimes like thicker concealers do. It's not super thick like the Chanel Sublimage concealer, but it's a good in-between where it's in between like a thicker concealer and like a serum concealer. And it's so consistent because when I wear it at the beginning of the day, it looks beautiful, but at the end of the day, it looks just as beautiful. It doesn't crease, it doesn't settle into any lines. It just wears so flawlessly throughout the day. Try this and you will be blown away by how amazing this is. It's truly phenomenal. Again, this is my mom's favorite concealer. She loves it as well. And my mom just picked up the Dewdrop foundation. I have to check in and ask how she's liking it, but I got her to pick it up because it's just one of my favorites. Some other Surratt favorites of mine is the Surratt Artistique bronzer. This is such a gorgeous bronzer formula. Surratt's powder formula is truly unique because they use a slurry technology where it starts off as a cream or a liquid product and it's baked down into a powder. So they're really, really finely milled. They're very smooth. They feel like silk when you touch them. And so they blend into your skin like a dream. There is no harsh lines. It blends like silk. It is so buttery, so creamy. It's perfect. So I love that bronzer. I also really love their blushes. So my favorite blush is the shade Le Rosé de Soir. I also really like Le Vion Rose. This is just the perfect neutral tone. And again, it's made with that slurry technique. And it really reminds me of the Clé De Peau blushes where it just melts into your skin. It does not look like you've applied a powder blush at all. It like infuses with your skin and becomes one with your skin and just really enhances your skin, and it's absolutely gorgeous. The Surratt Artistique eyeshadows are a classic. They are so beautiful. Again, it's made with that same slurry technique. They are so gorgeous. Again, if you have mature eyes, you're gonna want to try a formula like this out because they are just so easy to blend. They're like velvet. They melt onto the eyes. Again, this is the most luxury formula. If you have tried like Dore eyeshadows or Chanel eyeshadows and you think they're good, wait until you try Surratt Beauty. You will be absolutely blown away. They're so gorgeous. They have enough pigmentation where they're going to show up, but it's not too pigmented where it's hard to blend. They're just absolutely amazing. You will be obsessed with them. So this is a build your own palette, and I really like that about Surratt. So their classic palette that I would say is the most popular is a palette called Beyond Beige, and I would really recommend that. But I just built my own palette, and this is the shades Chamois, Greige, Couvre, and Truff. And I really like this. It's my perfect neutral eyeshadow palette. I just can't say enough good things. And one of my favorite products, again, I feel like this is very underrated from Surratt. This is their Souffle eyeshadow in the shade Ciel Dore. I do have some other shades. I have 2 other shades, but this shade is my perfect one and done because it's a gorgeous beige. It's like a golden peach champagne. It has all those wonderful tones to it. I'm just gonna wipe my hand clean, start fresh. So this just goes with my complexion so well because it's that beautiful warm beige that leans slightly peach, slightly champagne. This I really love because it is very different from the Victoria Beckham lid lusters where there are no intermittent shimmers. This just gives you that really smooth, gorgeous sheen. The texture of this, like this is such a unique formula because it feels like, reminds me of like Flubber, like the Robin Williams movie. I mean, I can't feel Flubber because it's a movie, but this is what I imagine Flubber to feel like. It's almost like a jelly texture. Like it feels like Jell-O. That's probably the best description is Jell-O. It feels like Jell-O. So it's just very unique. And I've had this for over a year and it hasn't dried out. I think people were initially worried that maybe it would dry out over time, but it stayed consistent through the time I've had it. I would just make sure, obviously, to screw this lid on tight. But I absolutely love this product, and I feel like people don't talk about it enough, and Surratt's just such an underrated brand, and it's so, so good. I also really love the Lip Sleek in the shade Heaven. This is one of the best pinky nude shades ever, and this is like that perfect lip gloss lipstick hybrid. It reminds me of Chantecaille Patience, but Patience is more beige in tone. So that's Chantecaille Patience right there. And that's the Surratt Lip Sleek in Heaven. So Heaven is definitely more pink. It gives you more of that rosebuddy pink shade, where Patience from Chantecaille is more of like a beige pink, lighter. It's definitely more nude. where the Surratt is just an everyday kind of beautiful rosebud shade. Or it sort of reminds me of like Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk in that range. And I also wanted to mention, a lot of people ask about my earrings, and they're from Majuri, and they're 25% off right now. Again, I'll leave the link down below. I just want to talk about them because literally I wear these in every video, so I absolutely love them. Actually, my mom bought them for me as a birthday gift, and I just love them. I wear them all the time. They go with anything. They are nice and understated, so I feel like I can wear them, again, for any occasion, and they're going to suit any occasion. So those are all the makeup sales I wanted to talk about, and I quickly wanted to move on to skincare. Now, Omnilux is doing a sale where they are doing $60 off one device, $130 off two devices, or $240 off three devices. This is the Omnilux. This is the contour mask. This is red light therapy. I love this. My mom purchased this for me for Christmas 2 years ago, and I have used it. I use it 5 days a week, and I have consistently used it. I am someone, like, when I commit myself to a routine, I am doing it every day. I will not skip a day because that is just my personality and my nature. I am very, very disciplined. And so only buy this sort of product if you are someone that is going to be consistent and you are going to use this daily. It only requires 10 minutes of your routine, so you can do it while you're watching TV or reading a book. I always do this at the end of the night when I'm reading my book right before bed. Red light therapy has definitely been gaining more popularity. There have been more scientific reviews about this, and it has absolutely been scientifically proven to work. So that's really exciting. And I absolutely love this mask. And again, my mom purchased one, and she purchased herself one as well because I was just raving about it. And again, I've seen a lot of benefits. I mean, maybe a lot of benefits is probably a stretch. I feel like I have noticed a difference in like the clarity of my skin, and I feel like the skin texture is a little bit better. I feel like I'm breaking out less. That could be due to lots of other factors, though. It's hard to narrow it down to this being a specific thing that made a difference. However, I feel like I've seen enough difference to recommend it to you guys, and I feel like this is just a nice gift to gift to someone. And you might as well get it on a discount if that is a product you have been thinking about. I also wanted to quickly mention some brushes. So I really like BK Beauty and Refer brushes. I feel like they're just good brushes to recommend because they're so easily accessible. They're not products that are limited edition or that when they sell out, they're gone for 6 months. And I think if I had to choose one brand, I do like Refer. They are natural brushes, where BK Beauty is synthetic brushes. Not that they're, synthetic is just better to use cream-wise, I would say. But I do like the Refer brushes because I just think they're high quality for something like a Sonia G brush is just very, very pricey. And they do a good job of like mimicking that, but it's high quality and it's actually really, really nice. So my favorite Refer brushes are this is the 18 brush. I love to use this for powder, precise powder application. The 05 brush is excellent for blush. I really like the 22 brush. I use this for bronzer all the time. It's fantastic. I also love to use the number 1 brush on my eyes. So Refer has some great eye brushes. I love the 21. I love the 02 brush. I love the 03 brush. I love, like I said, the 01 brush. I think that's in my dirty pile right now. Here's the Refer 01 brush. These are probably my favorite brushes. These are ones that I use very consistently on like an everyday basis, especially if I'm doing eye makeup. I love to use these ones. So those are some of my favorite Refer brushes. And then, like I said, I really do enjoy the BK Beauty brushes. I think they're really, really nice. Honestly, if you're going to purchase any brushes, I do like the Nikki LaRose bundle quite a lot. I think there's only one brush from that I don't use all the time. Like this one, I think it's the N11. I don't really use this one, but every other brush from her line is really great. Like I love this. This is the N15. This is so good. I used it today for cream blush. Really, really nice. You can use this for powder or creams. And I really like, again, that BK Beauty I can use multi-purpose for creams or powders. The 101 is a classic. This is great for foundation or cream bronzer or cream blush. I love the 109 this is great for concealer, or I like to use this for cream blush. I like the 111 for cream bronzer. I'll use this with my Chantecaille this is the Sheer Glow Bronze Face Tint. Really love that. I also love the N14. I like to use this for concealer, or I like to use it for precise powdering. You could also use this for like highlighter if you wanted to. And what are some other ones? I really like the 204. This is great for the lower lash line. This is one of my favorites. I feel like so many people love the Angie, this is the A506. I like it, but it gives you full coverage for concealer. I actually prefer the Nikki LaRose one, which is somewhere here. And I really, really like this N16 brush. This is my favorite concealer brush because it really thins out the concealer. This is great if you want like a light to medium coverage concealer application, where I think like the A506 from BK Beauty is really great for full coverage concealer, but I just like this one because it shears it out a little bit better. So I absolutely love that. I also really like the BK Beauty 104. This is kind of multi-purpose. I can use it for powder if I want a more generous powder application, or if I want a sheer bronzer application. Like I like to use that with the Surratt bronzer because the Surratt bronzer is a little bit more pigmented. So a natural hair brush is going to pick up a lot more product, where a synthetic brush is going to give you more of a sheer application. So with more pigmented products, I like to use these sort of brushes. I also really like the 105 brush. This is great for cream bronzer, or if I want a really quick foundation application. And even though this brush, you would think it's going to give you like a lot of coverage, this actually, because it is such a generous surface area, it is going to give you more of a sheer coverage. It's going to just apply a thin layer of coverage all over, because you're going to get a thin coat of that product on the bristles here, and it's going to give you more of that sheer application versus it being like a more dense brush. Like I said, this is going to give you more coverage because it's very dense and it's a smaller brush, so that's going to kind of give you more coverage in a more precise area, if that makes sense. So I really, really like this for bronzer application. I also really enjoy this N12 brush. This is again from the Nikki LaRose collection. And I think, oh, and I also really like this 202 brush. So those are some of my favorites. Again, I'll list, I'll word them out. I will list all my recommendations under these sites, but I wanted to get this video up quick for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And again, I wanted to talk about only my absolute favorite products. So I'm not just talking about any old products here. These are my absolute favorite products that I use on a daily basis. So let me know if you guys are going to be doing any Black Friday or Cyber Monday shopping. Obviously, again, like I said, be smart with the shopping. Don't feel pressured to buy just because things are on sale. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it and that you found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Like this video if you like it, and I'll see you in my next video.